Hey everyone, so let's talk about the biggest lie in dieting. You've probably heard it 1,000 times if you want to lose weight. You need to eat less and feel hungry. That's it! Suffer through it. But here's the thing. That's not actually how sustainable weight loss works. In fact, if you're constantly starving yourself, you're setting yourself up to fail. Your body will fight back, and you'll end up binge eating or giving up entirely. The real secret isn't eating less food, it's eating the right foods. Foods that fill you up, keep you satisfied, and don't pack in a ton of calories. And there's actual science backing this up. Researchers have created something called the Satiety Index, which basically ranks how well different foods keep you feeling full. What they found is pretty fascinating. Some foods keep you satisfied for hours on just a few calories, while others leave you hungry 30 minutes later, even though you just ate a bunch. So today, I want to break down 4 specific foods that are surprisingly low in calories but incredibly filling. These are backed by research, and understanding why they work can completely change how you approach weight loss. Number 1, boiled potatoes. I know what you're thinking. Potatoes? Aren't those supposed to be bad for weight loss? This is where the research gets really interesting. Back in the 90s, researchers at the University of Sydney developed this Satiety Index I mentioned. They gave people 240 calorie portions of 38 different foods and tracked how full they felt over 2 hours. Then they let them eat whatever they wanted and measured how much they consumed. Here's the crazy part. Boiled potatoes scored 323 on the Satiety Index, which was 7 times higher than croissants, which scored just 47. That's not a small difference. That means for the same number of calories, potatoes kept people feeling full dramatically longer. In one study, participants who ate 45 grams of potatoes reported feeling more satisfied and less hungry, compared to those who ate the same amount of rice or pasta. Why does this happen? Potatoes are incredibly heavy and bulky for the number of calories they contain. A medium-baked potato with skin has about 160 calories, but it weighs around 170 grams. That physical weight and volume in your stomach triggers stretch receptors that signal to your brain that you're full. Plus, they're loaded with fiber, especially if you eat the skin, and they contain resistant starch, which is a type of carbohydrate that your body digests slowly. This keeps your blood sugar stable and prolongs that feeling of fullness. Now, this is specifically about plain boiled or baked potatoes. French fries don't count. When you deep fry potatoes and load them with oil, you're adding massive amounts of calories without adding any volume. The satiety benefit disappears. But a plain baked potato? That's one of the most filling foods you can eat calorie for calorie. Number 2, eggs. Eggs are protein powerhouses, and protein is probably the most important macronutrient when it comes to feeling full. Protein can suppress your appetite for 4 to 6 hours after eating, while carbohydrates leave you hungry after just an hour. That's a massive difference in how long you can go between meals without feeling like you need to snack. Here's what's happening biochemically. When you eat protein, it affects 2 key hormones in your body. Ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, gets suppressed, and leptin, your fullness hormone, stays elevated longer. Protein also requires more energy to digest than carbs or fat, which is called the thermic effect. Your body burns more calories just breaking down and processing protein. One study found that people who ate eggs in the morning felt fuller all day long, compared to those who ate other breakfast foods. 2 large eggs have only about 140 calories, but pack 12 grams of high-quality protein. That means you can start your day with a substantial, satisfying meal without loading up on calories. What makes eggs especially powerful for weight loss is their versatility. You can hard-boil them for a quick snack, scramble them with vegetables, or make an omelet. They're affordable, easy to prepare, and they keep you satisfied. If you're trying to lose weight, making eggs a regular part of your diet is one of the simplest changes you can make. Number 3, legumes. Specifically beans, lentils, and chickpeas. This is where things get interesting in terms of long-term weight loss. One study found that people with type 2 diabetes, who ate 1 or more cups of legumes daily for 3 months, lost an average of 6 pounds. But it wasn't just about weight loss. Eating legumes also helped participants lower their blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels. Legumes are this perfect combination of protein and fiber. A cup of cooked black beans has about 15 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber for around 225 calories. That fiber is key because it slows down digestion. When food moves through your stomach and intestines more slowly, you stay full longer. Adding beans and legumes to a meal increases satiety by an average of 31%. There's also something called resistant starch in legumes. Similar to what's in potatoes, your body can't fully digest it, so it acts more like fiber. It feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which has all kinds of benefits for metabolism and overall health. And because your body can't fully break it down, you're not absorbing all the calories, even though you're getting the volume and fullness. The practical advantage of legumes is that they're incredibly cheap. Protein from meat can be expensive, but a can of black beans costs less than $1 and gives you multiple servings. You can add them to salads, soups, make hummus, or use them in place of ground meat in dishes like chili. They're filling, nutritious, and budget-friendly. Number 4, Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is different from regular yogurt because it's strained to remove most of the liquid whey. What you're left with is this thick, creamy yogurt that's incredibly high in protein. A 1-cup serving of non-fat Greek yogurt has about 150 calories, but packs around 25 grams of protein. That's more protein than 3 eggs. One study involving 20 women found that those who ate non-fat Greek yogurt as a snack experienced less hunger and consumed 100 fewer calories at dinner. Compared to women who ate crackers or chocolate, that's significant. The yogurt didn't just keep them full in the moment. It actually reduced how much they ate later in the day. The protein content is what makes Greek yogurt so effective. It triggers those same satiety hormones we talked about with eggs. Your body releases peptide YY and GLP-1, which signal to your brain that you're satisfied. And because Greek yogurt is thick and creamy, it also provides that psychological satisfaction of eating something substantial. The key here is choosing plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. A lot of flavored Greek yogurts have as much sugar as a candy bar. When you add sugar, you're spiking your blood glucose, which leads to a crash later and makes you hungry again. Plain Greek yogurt with some berries or a drizzle of honey is a much better choice. You get the protein and satiety without the blood sugar roller coaster. So here's the bottom line. Weight loss doesn't have to mean suffering through constant hunger. The research is really clear on this. Foods high in protein, fiber, and water content consistently score highest on the Satiety Index. When you focus on these types of foods, you can eat satisfying portions, feel full between meals, and still maintain a calorie deficit. The 4 foods I covered today, boiled potatoes, eggs, legumes, and Greek yogurt, all share these characteristics. They're nutrient-dense, they provide substantial volume for the calories, and they keep you feeling satisfied for hours. That's the formula that actually works for sustainable weight loss. One more thing to keep in mind, water content in foods correlated strongly with satiety scores. That's why broth-based soups, fruits like oranges and apples, and vegetables like cucumbers and celery are also incredibly filling despite being very low in calories. The water adds weight and volume without adding energy. If you're serious about losing weight, don't focus on eating less. Focus on eating smarter. Build your meals around high satiety foods. Start your day with eggs. Add beans to your lunch. Have some Greek yogurt as a snack. Make baked potatoes a regular part of your dinners. When you do this consistently, you'll find that weight loss becomes much easier because you're not fighting against constant hunger. You're working with your body's natural satiety signals instead of against them.